Hey, how's it going, YouTube? So today I wanted to do something a little bit different once again. This is kind of just a type of video just to throw it out there, get some feedback, and yeah, just kind of get it off my chest. So I had some alone time with the HTC One X. Beautiful phone, absolutely gorgeous phone, awesome body, polycarbonate body design. Had a pretty weird looking camera grill here, but overall just a very solid phone. I like the way they drilled the speaker grill down in the bottom, the same thing with the top here. Just an overall beautiful design, really thin, really just spectacular looking. Also, I've played around with the Droid Razor. When I had Verizon, I actually took some time to play with it. Just absolutely beautiful phones, right? A lot of the times, what turns me off about the cell phones that I'm really looking into is the software. So, with the Droid Razor, Jesus Christ, let me turn this off. With the Droid Razor, obviously you're gonna have motor blur, and motor blur is probably one of the worst skins out there that have been applied to Android phones. It's not my favorite. I really don't like the icons. I don't like the whole theme that Verizon has for their Android phones with the crazy eye and the robots and this and that. Samsung with their TouchWiz, low res picture that I could find here. Obviously, I have that on my Epic 4G Touch. Not my favorite skin in the world, and it just got me thinking, like, when are we gonna have a company take the initiative to actually, to release a phone where you're gonna have a dual boot option? So essentially, when you power up your, let's say, your HTC One X, when you power on the first time, to just give you an option to say, hey, you can have all the HTC widgets, all the Sense goodness, so power on with Sense or stock Android. It just got me thinking, if the One X were to be released with stock software, I guarantee you, HTC, and I guarantee you that you would sell probably double the amount than when it has Sense. I know for all the rooters out there, for the people that hack their phones and everything, it's not a big deal. You can, hack your phone and get ice cream sandwich on this. You could get whatever you want on it. Again, most of my videos aren't directed towards that type of user. I'm just an overall, just a very general user. Now, I don't root my phones, and I guarantee you that if this thing came to Sprint, well, it is, but then you're going to get a different body or whatever. But if this came to Sprint with Sense, I would probably buy it, and I would be stuck with the phone that I love. I love the hardware on the One X, but software-wise, Sense is still very much in your face. You get a ton of widgets. I think something like 82 pages of widgets. Everything is cool, but if I had an option to buy the One X with stock Android Ice Cream Sandwich 4.0, I guarantee you this would probably be the best phone for 2012. The Galaxy S3, in my opinion, is garbage. The Galaxy S2 is really good, but I think as far as like a 2012 model, and specifically this one here, and if it had stock Android Ice Cream Sandwich 4.0, game over, complete game over here. Now you're looking at this one. Imagine the Galaxy S2. It did so much with TouchWiz being overlaid on top of Android, and it was such a great phone. I still have mine right here. But if it shipped with Ice Cream Sandwich, with just stock, with gingerbread, stock gingerbread, and then now that they're upgrading them to Ice Cream Sandwich, if you had the option just to boot into stock or into TouchWiz, I guarantee you, Samsung, that people would still buy your phones. These companies would sell so many. They would sell way more than what they're selling right now. A lot of people might not care. They just go to the store and they say, hey, check it out. It looks like the Evo. Buy it. Shove it down your throat and on you go. But a lot of people will think about it. Should I get a Nexus phone because I really want stock, or should I just get this? I've gotten a ton of messages from people. Oh, should I go with the Galaxy Nexus or the Galaxy S2? I'm not really into TouchWiz, but I want this, but I want that. So think about it. If these companies, these greedy companies, actually gave a rat's ass about you and actually gave you an option to boot into their shitty software or to go straight into stock, people would, no matter what, would buy your phone. That wouldn't even be a question. So there would be no Nexus phones, right? You could say, oh, okay, I can go get a Nexus phone, or I could go get the Epic 4G Touch. Either way, I'm going to be able to boot into stock Android. and that wouldn't be a problem. Plus, you have Super AMOLED Plus, you have a sexy design, you can get it in white, it has an awesome camera, blah blah blah. So software wouldn't be an issue, right? Think of the Droid Razr. Awesome phone, super thin, just sexy as hell. But then you have motor blur. Now, I'm not crazy about motor blur, but if this thing came out with stock gingerbread or stock ice cream sandwich, come on, who wouldn't buy this phone, right? Motorola has great radios, so let's say me, I'm in a poor signal area. With this, I would be able to make phone calls. It's pretty snappy. And what these companies are really selling you, they're not really selling you the phone itself. They're trying to sell you their software. All these skins are getting crazier and crazier. TouchWiz, they're really not selling you. I mean, with the Galaxy S3, think about it. What are they really selling you? They're selling you all of the Samsung services, all of the crap that Samsung wants to shove down your throat. They're not really selling you the hardware. Plus, the hardware looked really bad in my opinion. So, what are you really going to focus your purchasing on? Well, you're purchasing the software. You're purchasing that quad-core processor. In the States, we're going to get a dual-core processor. But what are you really looking at? You're looking at the software. And they didn't even show a different iteration of TouchWiz. So you're really going to get TouchWiz that you've seen on this phone, that you've seen on the Galaxy Tabs. I think these companies, one of these companies, actually there was a rumor that Samsung was going to introduce something where you were actually going to have a dual boot option, so you can go into stock or TouchWiz, and that would be killer, right? So like you could get the Galaxy S3, and if you're not crazy about TouchWiz, just to boot into stock Android. That would be amazing. And honestly, if something like this came with stock without me having to root it or to take it somewhere or to, modify it myself, this would be it. All these companies would sell a billion more, 10 billion more if the software wasn't an issue. I don't really understand why these companies want to put these crazy skins on Android. Now, maybe back in the day, Android wasn't the most friendly operating system, and it wasn't user friendly. But with Ice Cream Sandwich, this is going backwards. Ice Cream Sandwich didn't have any buttons. Now these phones are shipping with buttons. It would make a ton of sense for these companies to actually give you the option to boot into whatever you want. After all, it's your money. You're the one paying $500 or $200 or $250, whatever it is that you're paying. Why shouldn't you have the option to boot into whatever the hell that you want? If I want to boot into stock, I want to boot into stock, and I don't want Samsung or Motorola or HTC or LG or Sprint or Verizon, anybody telling me what I should do. I'm buying the phone. I'm working hard to pay it, so I should have the option to boot into stock or into these horrible skins that Motorola, Samsung, HTC are doing. Right now, HTC, they toned it down a little bit, but still, come on, the multitasking feature, you get all these pages instead of that multitasking that you get on Ice Cream Sandwich. And to me, it's pretty ridiculous. Honestly, I wish one of these companies would actually take the initiative and do this. It would make a ton of sense, and I guarantee you, if one does it, Samsung's going to do it, and if Samsung did it, HTC's going to do it, and if HTC did it, then Motorola would do it. And I think Google needs to put their foot down and actually say something about it. So I don't know, maybe you agree with me. If you agree with me, give this video a thumbs up, leave some comments. If you disagree with me, let me know what you think. I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there. This is just the way I feel. I buy a bunch of phones every time I get a chance to buy phones. With the Evo 4G LTE, I'm not crazy about Sans. I'm most likely going to pick it up. And I think that's why these companies do whatever the hell they want. Because they know at the end of the day, you and I, we're going to go buy the phones. No matter what, we're going to buy them. And we're going to pay the price. And that's just the way it is. But I really think that it's frustrating. I wish there was a company that would actually have the balls to release a phone and say, you could take our shitty software or you can take stock. We really don't give a shit. You're buying our phone either way. We're getting your $500. One way or another, we're getting your money. And that's fine. You want my money, take my money, but let me have what I want. So, I don't know. Leave a comment down below if you agree or disagree. Feel free to subscribe. Feel free to like this video. And I guess I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Cheers.